Hi, Virgo Sun and Rising. Welcome to your March 2022 Astro Update. It's Raina here. So, March is significant for you in two ways that I can see, like jumping out at me, Virgo. First of all, there's going to be a full moon in your sign. It's a late degree, and I always think of those as kind of doozies in the sense that they really kind of embody something that's been going on in your life and bringing it to a real conclusion. Now, 27th degree is not the last degree of a sign, but it still is one of the later degrees. And so that's happening. And then we also have these transits in Pisces, and that is your opposite sign, and therefore the opposite house, which is the seventh house of committed partnership. And even if you're single, this could manifest in one way or the other. But I do think that with astrology, transits don't always manifest in any discernible way, but also if we are rejecting these things, then I don't think that they can manifest either. So in other words, if you are someone who is really heartbroken about a past relationship, then the area of relationships may be a sore subject for you, and you may just kind of like have a tendency to push that area away from you, even if something good was coming towards you. So it's really about cooperating and investing in whatever it is that is going on at the time, instead of just, oh, this will happen to you for sure. So I just want to get that clear, because I don't like saying, oh, this is going to happen. I don't know if it will. But these are the energies of March 2022. So on the 2nd of the month, we have a new moon at 12 degrees of Pisces in that opposite house. And the very next day, Mars and Venus, the divine lovers, go into conjunction with one another in a late degree of Capricorn, 27 degrees, which is the same degree as that full moon. And so that's in a different house. I mean, the Pisces is in the 7th house for you. And then the Capricorn energy is in the 5th house, which actually, come to think about it, that really is connected to the 7th house. 5th house is about love. So it's almost like, and by the way, I have, I think I even did a personal reading where someone had a new moon in their 7th house, and it was really about divorce. Like, I was doing timing and I was joking with them about it. I think that was it. Sometimes they all blur together, because it might have been even like a reading on here. But the point is that a new development in a particular house can be something that is dissolving that thing, that in this case, that union that you have. The 7th house is a partnership, like marriage and, domestic partnerships and other types as well. And that could be what's going on. But talking about it from the romantic perspective, I mean, Mars and Venus forming a conjunction the very next day is that new moon in the 5th house. It's like, it almost reminds me of somebody who's waiting to get their divorce decree in the mail so that they can just jump into an affair, because they really wanted to do it the right way, but they're just chomping at the bit to have this hot and heavy affair. Now, the 5th house can be falling in love. It doesn't have to be like a one-night stand, but it could be. And especially with Venus and Mars, it's like very lusty, that Mars especially. And but because it's in Capricorn and that's in your fifth house, you might have a more serious attitude towards love, and you're not inclined to that kind of behavior. So for what that's worth, um, so the new moon is something connected to relationships or one-on-one partnerships, new development. If you're having some kind of a legal matter, that could be a new development with that as well, or launching a legal, some kind of a court case. On the 6th, Mars and Venus both enter Aquarius. And so this is going to be the 6th house for you, and that's the house that you rule in the universal chart. And Venus and Mars, they're both personal planets. So the fact that they are traveling so close together isn't the most unusual thing. They travel close together, but they're not, they're very close right now. So that can be good to me in these earth houses, because I feel like it can give the person a lot of traction. They can be working hard at something, have a lot of energy for their project, and still financially benefit, which is the Venus energy. The Mars energy is that physical side of things, or exerting effort, So yeah, in the 6th house, this could be some kind of a salary, negotiation going on, where the Mars is pushing for, having that confidence to ask for what you're worth. And the Venus is the money angle. If there is some kind of conflict in the workplace, you're going to have allies with Venus here. They're going to have people who support you, who have your back. And you might be not a pushover right now, Virgo. Oh, do I get flack for saying anything of the sort? But Virgo and Pisces are opposite signs, and they have certain things in common, as all opposing signs do. And I think that sometimes Virgos are pushovers. And I say that respectfully. I don't say that disparagingly. The reason I say this is because your sign tends to be very involved with helping other people, wanting to be of use to others, not just taking up space and taking from people. You would rather give to people, but in a practical kind of a way. Not like Leo, just throw money at them, but a hands-on type of way. And of course, that opens you up to people that don't have your best interests at heart, that are users and that sort of thing. And that's really what I'm talking about. So in the workplace, some of you may do more than you're asked to do, and that is perfectly fine as long as it doesn't become expected and you're getting paid for doing the work of two people. You're getting paid one salary for doing the work of two people. Then that's being taken advantage of. So that kind of thing can be going on at this time. Mercury is already in that house. So that's kind of that verbal, maybe back and forth, that negotiation involves. And then it gets more like aggressive when Mars comes into the picture. But on the 9th, Mercury goes into Pisces. So it's going into the opposite house. Now remember, Mercury is your ruler. So where Mercury goes, you are right there. You are like really connected to that area. So in this 7th house, it might even be something with arbitration. I don't know another word for it, where it's not like in a courtroom, but maybe within a company. If you have filed some kind of a grievance and it has to go through a process, and maybe you have to testify or something like that, then that could be going on. And if there, for some of you, if you are making wedding plans and maybe the Mars, Venus, Capricorn isn't another person, the conjunction the fifth isn't another person, it's just really getting the ball rolling. It's like, yeah, we love each other, let's do this, Then maybe you're making wedding plans and you're getting everything together. Or if you're moving in together, you're, putting that person's name on the lease. I don't know, just something paperwork and talking to people. On the 18th, that full moon in your sign, 27 Virgo, the number 27 reduces to a 9, which is the end of, it's the final situation. Obviously, this is not the last degree, but I also look sometimes to what the degree number says in numerological terms to see if that can provide information. So there might be some matter coming to a head in a very prominent way. Now, this is your first house of the self, so that is something that is bringing endings to your life in general in a major way. Now, you have full moons in your sign every year, so it's not like this is any different, although the fact it's a later degree, I think, does mean something. And so you might even know what those things are, or that thing, if there's one particular area in your life that is really has come to the end of the road, the end of the line, then that might be happening for you. And in relationships, remember, full moons are oppositions between the sun and moon. So the sun is at 27 Pisces in that 7th house, directly opposing that full moon. You might have a situation where you are beginning to realize exactly what your part is in a relationship. Like if there's something going wrong, you're able to see your part in it. And it might be that you have to adjust your behavior and then everything's going to be fine. Or it could be that you adjust your behavior and that makes the other person kind of sit up and go, what's going on here? Why are you doing this? Because they're used to being able to do whatever they want. And you're changing your tune a little bit. On the 20th, we have the sun going into Aries, which is the astrological new year. So that is something that is very exciting because it is a whole new astrological calendar year. And for you in particular, which is kind of, this is also something to pay attention to in your particular chart. This is the 8th house. So this is the house of transformation. Wow, what a great place to have the sun going into Aries, because this is such a great time for you, Virgo, to really reinvent yourself. And this is on a deeper level. The first house with the full moon can be the physical self too. So that can be great for your body, for doing things that way. And Virgo, ruling the house of health, you tend to be very connected to health matters, and you may do fasts or, I don't know, eat a very pure diet already, but there might be something else that you want to do for your health. And of course, there are wayward Virgos who need to, up their health game. I'm sure, their diet game. And I'm not talking about calorie restriction, but the type of foods that you eat, eating style, or what have you. But anyway, that's more on the physical level or the mundane level in terms of, day-to-day life and things changing with that full moon, or ending, with the sun going into that 8th house. This is about transformation at a deep level. And this is a water house. This is Scorpio's domain. So it's more about those kinds of things. And that can be actually very good because you can find strength in realizing that you don't have to stay stagnant, that you can change, that you have the ability to change at a deep level. So that can involve, the 8th house can be psychological, magical, and when I say magical, that personal alchemy. So really seeing how you are the magician of your own life. And then on the 27th, Mercury goes into this area. So maybe you're even studying some metaphysical topics that can help you to make a certain transformation into your life. You already have Chiron in this area. And Chiron in the 8th house can, at some point, lead you to the calling of becoming a healer. And even if you already are in the healthcare field, you may want to become a quantum healer. You're going to take it to the next level. You realize that it's not just about the body, that the body is directed by consciousness. And so you want to explore that. So, also, I should say, too, that the 8th house can be shared resources. And because we're having eclipses in areas that are connected to these two houses of the 2nd and 9th house as well, Taurus and Scorpio are connected to those houses. Money, whether it's your money, other people's money can come into the picture. 8th house is other people's money. So Mercury in the 8th, it can be some kind of like back and forth with people about this money. If it's an inheritance, especially we could talk about. Or if you're getting divorced and you're like, okay, who gets what? That kind of thing. Alimony, child support, the whole 9 yards. Okay, that's what I have for you, Virgo. I hope that this resonated. If you would like a private reading, I promote my double readings, double chart analysis plus transits for the upcoming 12 months, called my deep dive reading, because it is a value economically, however you want to put it. But it's also more thorough. I have the moon in Virgo, so I like to be thorough when I analyze, and that analytical side of things. So anyway, maybe I should call myself analytically intuitive. I shy away from calling myself intuitive because I don't want to promote myself as a psychic, because I don't consider myself a psychic. But intuitive isn't really, it's just feeling into things. But, when you have a moon in Virgo, you're like also very analytical, skeptical, and that can kind of hamper some of that flow of the intuition if you're not careful. So I've been trying to be much more receptive and less, trying to analyze every little thing. But anyway, I'm at rainamoon.astrology.com. The link is below. Thanks for listening. Take care. Bye.